All right, real quick, just going to answer a question. Why the 300-meter battle sight? Some people do 200, some people do 100. There's some different schools of thought on it. The reason I do the 300 on this rifle, and why I talked about the 300 in my recent videos with this rifle, is that's because that's what the rear sight is designed for. Rear sight, the A2 style rear sight is designed for the 300 meter zero. It's designed, that's why it has the 6.3 mark on it. You can, I don't know if you can see it too well, probably not. But that's marked 6.3. That's 600 meters / 300 meters. That's how the elevation bullet drop is adjusted on the rear A2. You start off at 300 meters, you work your way up to 4, 5, and then you keep going until you're back around to the marking, which you're at 600 meters. That's why I do a 300 meter zero. That's what the sight is designed for. I'm a big proponent of don't fix what ain't broke. Now, again, your environment is going to dictate, and like I've even said in my other videos, there's more than one way to do things, especially in the gun world. This is what I do. If you want to do something different, go for it. Police officers, civilians protecting homes, you can get away with doing a 100 meter zero or a 100 yard zero or a 50 yard zero. You can perfectly get away with it because realistically you're probably not going to be shooting far ranges in self-defense. I'm going back on what I was trained in the Air Force and Army and going off of what the sight design is designed for and also what the technical manual calls for. This is the Army technical manual for the AR-15, namely the M16A2A4 and the M4 M4A1. So because this rifle is more designed, the rear sights rather, are more designed for a 300 meter zero, that's what I'm going to stick with. For those of you out there that say, well, you know, I've heard people say that, you know, these combat vets say that most engagements happen in under, you know, 200 meters or 100 meters. Why in the world would you do a 300 meter? Because you're shooting a couple inches high at 100 and 200 just doesn't make sense. My answer to that is experiences vary. Some people, their whole experiences may be up close firefights. Others may be far away firefights. For example, in Afghanistan right now, there's been a lot of after action reports, especially amongst convoys, foot patrols, all that stuff, of people getting engaged at far distances. Taliban engaging at far distances. In fact, there's been a lot of, that caused a lot of controversy with the 5.56 round because the 5.56 is just running out of steam. That tells me that the saying that all rifle fights lately have been happening close is not entirely true. Nobody can predict the future. And because I can't predict the future on what distance a firefight may occur, I'm going to go with what the design is of this rifle. So hopefully you can kind of understand that. I'm not going to try and change what ain't broke. I'm going to stick with a 300 meter zero, which is what this sight is designed for, and what the Army manuals call for. And then I'll go from there. So I hope that answers your question on, you know, there's been a few out there that had that question, why are you going with the 300 meter? Even though there's some out there that go with, you know, a different zero for their ARs. That's just what I do. If you're going to do something different, by all means have at it. So with that said, thanks for watching and stay safe.